They said his story ended on the cross. They said his voice was silenced forever. Yet here we are 2,000 years later, still whispering his name, still waiting for his return. What if the wait is almost over? What if Jesus will be born again, not as a myth, not as a metaphor, but as a living presence in our own age of chaos? Think about it. Our world is drowning in wars, greed, corruption, division, and noise. Leaders have failed, systems have failed, and humanity is searching desperately for hope. In times like these, the question becomes unavoidable. Will the Son of Man return? Will Jesus be born again in this generation? And if he does, will we even recognize him? 2,000 years ago, they didn't. The people of his time saw just another child in a small village, a carpenter's son with no wealth, no throne, no army. When he began to speak of love, forgiveness, and equality, they called him a lunatic. When he touched the untouchables, when he gave dignity to women, when he challenged the priests and rulers, they branded him dangerous. They mocked him, they rejected him, they crucified him. Only later did the world realize who he really was. So let's be honest, if he is born again today, we would probably make the same mistake. We would expect light from the heavens, miracles in the sky, a king riding with angels. But what if he comes as he did before? Silently, humbly, in a form the world despises. Would we have the eyes to see him? Maybe right now, somewhere a child has already been born carrying that same light. Maybe in the slums of a forgotten city, maybe in a refugee camp, maybe in a small village where nobody pays attention. And while the world scrolls endlessly through screens, fighting over politics and power, the greatest miracle might already be breathing quietly in the corner of this earth. The question is not whether Jesus will return. The question is, will we notice, or will we crucify him again? Not on a wooden cross, but with our indifference, with our arrogance, with our refusal to change. But perhaps his birth is not just about one man. Perhaps his second coming is about a revolution of spirit. Look around, people are waking up, questioning injustice, demanding truth, seeking peace in a world of chaos. Every act of love in the face of hate, every act of forgiveness where revenge was expected, every voice that speaks for the voiceless. Isn't that Jesus being born again? Isn't that his spirit rising once more in human hearts? Maybe we have been waiting for the clouds to part, when in fact his return is happening through us. Still, prophecy speaks louder now than ever before. Wars and rumors of wars, nations against nations, climate disasters, false prophets. These are not just words in an ancient book, they are headlines of today. For many, this is the sign that his coming is near. And yet the paradox is this: even if he stood before us today, dressed like one of us, speaking in our language, would we dare to believe him? Or would we scroll past, laugh, and call him irrelevant? History has shown us we are quick to worship dead prophets, but we crucify living ones. So here is the challenge. If Jesus is to be born again, whether in flesh or in spirit, it depends not only on prophecy, but on us. Will we prepare a world ready to receive him, or will we once again push him away? His return is not only about what he will do, it is about what we are willing to do. Because every time we choose compassion over cruelty, every time we defend the weak against the powerful, every time we love without condition, he lives again. He is born again. In us, through us. And now I want to ask you directly, are you ready? Are you ready for a world where Jesus is not just a story in a book, but a living force in your life? Are you ready to see him in the hungry, the poor, the broken, the outcast? Because that is where he will be. He will not come to golden palaces. He will not stand with the oppressors. He will walk again with the forgotten. And if you want to meet him, you must walk there too. This is not just a prophecy to wait for. This is an invitation to live for. Jesus being born again is not just about a future event. It is about the choices you make today. So don't just wait for the second coming. Be the second coming. Let him be born again in your heart, in your hands, in your voice. When enough of us do that, the prophecy is no longer a mystery. It becomes reality. So now the choice is yours. Will you sit back, waiting for miracles, or will you be part of the miracle? Will you scroll past these words, or will you let them spark a fire inside you? Because if you want to see Jesus born again, it begins right here, right now, with you. If this message stirred something in you, don't let it die here. Share it, speak it, live it. Because the world is waiting not just for him, but for you to rise. And maybe, just maybe, his second birth has already begun in you.